attention, gives the respect back to the chair, brings everything on a much quieter level, and allows the speaker to rule. The speaker can ask somebody to withdraw a statement. Person doesn't necessarily have to withdraw. Most times, I've seen that it has been done, or to reword. You know, and it's not a classroom setting, so it's not, oh, that won't work. It's, you know, honorable member, could I invite you perhaps to consider a different, a different definition or a different choice of word?
Yeah.
Something like that. The speaker can also, if it becomes extremely disruptive, the speaker can ask the member to take the seat or to be excused for the balance of the sitting. And in very rare cases, one would hope that you'd have to name a member and the person is suspended for some time. So those are in terms of the actual House meeting. So you rule on point of orders. It's, you know, if you have a issue here at the workplace, you have time to mull it over, time to consider options, not with the House. You got to do it right
It's
then
right
and
then
there.
and there.
I saw just now, and that was a perfect example.
It's
like,
right
had
then
to
and there.
suspend-
I've employed that a couple of times. I can't say that I would like to do that. I like to do that, but yeah, sometimes if the decibel level is a little bit too much, I'll suspend for a few minutes to go check. I think it's always important to be fair and to be objective. One good thing about the role of the speaker, well, I guess there's a flip side to what I'm going to say. One good thing about the role of the speaker is that you're above the fray of politics. When you take on the chair, you really don't engage in the politics. That's what the politicians do.
Yes.
And they try to bring it to the House.
Yeah.
And the speaker has to really exercise patience, calm, and that maturity to understand that's not your fight, that's not your game, you are here to referee.
Right.
The flip side to that is, you know, on a good day, the government side likes, but there's another role for the speaker, which is hardly ever seen or spoken about. I guess it's not as attractive, is the role of the working with the administration, those behind the scenes, to make what you see in a House meeting function, and to ensure that the system of the institution is working. And we have a long way to go. You know, that National Assembly building, I may be off by a year or two, is about 51, 52 years. It was really built for a legislative assembly of about 18 men. It didn't contemplate 31 persons. So oftentimes when we do get people coming there, one consistent comment is, wow, it's a lot smaller than I expected.
It looks
Yes,
bigger.
yes,
It's bigger on the screen, but when you think about it, it was built for 18 persons. Did not consider gender, did not consider accessibility. Last week is the week for persons living with disabilities.
Yep.
Our National Assembly is not conducive to it is not welcoming to air representatives or persons visiting, or even members of the media who may have mobility issues, for example. And that's one of the areas that I would love to see get changed. The president and I we collaborate on programs or initiatives or ideas that are similar in cause and concern for both chambers. And that's one.
Right.
That's an area that we need to look at. Another area, as basic as it may seem, is it doesn't have public Wi-Fi. In 2022, it should. I should say for the next House meeting, we should have public Wi-Fi in the gallery.
Okay.
We're aiming for that. Then there is the actual modernization of the work of Parliament that the Speaker works with the team on. So, for example, everybody talks about the Hansard. Hansard is just a fancy name for the official record book, right, if you will, of what is of the transcript of everything. The records management is still for the most part manual, and We need to digitize so
Yes.
much. There's so many records there as far back as 1883
Wow.
that
Okay.
needs to be preserved. I mean, I tell the team at the National Assembly that it's such a privilege and honor to be working there as a staff member because you're literally working in the seat of, at the seat of power, at the seat of, you're part of history.
Yeah.
You are, if you will, the stewards of what has carved, sculpted, molded the Belize that we know today and will continue to be shaped. So it's such a privilege, but we have to take care of these things.
Yes.
I have a certain vision that I would love now that I'm in the seat. I served as a senator for the opposition, so I get the privilege of knowing what it felt like in one chamber and now being behind the scenes to
Right.
see, okay, how do you effect change so that it doesn't feel like that?
Ah, okay.
Oh,
So
yeah,
you have an
that's a
inside
really
scoop
different
into it, yeah.
perspective.
Yeah, so it's been an interesting 2 years, to say the least. But and then there's the diplomacy role of the speaker. The speaker is like the ambassador for the National Assembly. That's how I've been. That's the best way I can describe it. So the speaker will do a lot of courtesy visits on visiting diplomats. We do a lot of exchanges. We just recently did another exchange with the UN country office. We've done 2 trainings with them. And then we also do a lot of parliamentary exchanges. So from time to time, the media will get, press releases of where members have gone for some exchange or some training.
Ah, okay.
And we try to operate as best as we could under the policy that because we pay these subscriptions to Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, for example, or Parlaméricas, for Pearl and others, that is what allows us to take advantage of the trainings because it comes at very minimal cost, if any. They tend to sponsor the trip. And so one of the changes that we've introduced is to ensure that we put out the press statements or the press releases on the who, the where, the why, the how, and the what. Because it's important that the public is aware
Definitely.
what
Yes.
the parliament is doing. So there's a lot more, Brandon and Renette. I could talk hours about this. The fun part for me, no, it's not the house meetings. That's not,
I was like,
Damn.
that is
if you
not,
had a
that's not
gavel,
the house
if you
meetings.
had a gavel, I think it'd be more fun. If you would just look and just like,
I don't know, Renata. People say
You
I'm
might drop that
already,
gavel.
I'm a very serious person. I think a gavel will just cement that even more. But the fun part for me is the behind the scenes, the organizational management, how to improve on what was found. And then when my term is up, I would hope that the next person, carries the
Carries it,
mantle,
yes.
the
Yes.
baton, and say, okay, how can we take this one step further and one step further? So that's the exciting part for me, the institutional building of it.
I love that. So I want to ask before we get into 60 activism and what your work is with that. I know you're a member of CWEL, and it's really important to have women in decision-making processes. And I wanted to get your opinion, on because we have a minority when it comes to women in the House of Representatives.
I know,
Yes. So
sadly.
sadly. So what would be your opinion on the role, especially in the House of Representatives? Because to be very honest, I would see here and there maybe Honorable Tracy would be want to speak up about something or so forth. But what would be your opinion on having more women speak up in a respectful manner? Because of course you want to have a respectful manner, but in the House of Representatives, because I feel like you mostly see the gentlemen being the ones that are speaking up the most, and you have to be dealing with them and all of that. But what would be your opinion when it comes to the women speaking up a little bit more?
It's not easy. It's sitting in the chair and I look out. It is predominantly men. It's really, and that in and of itself can be an intimidating factor. And you also want to be assured that when you speak up, there's a rallying support behind you.
Yes.
And that's not always forthcoming. The work the potential that CWIL has is tremendous. I was in the Bahamas in November, and their CWIL chapter organized a retreat, a 2-day retreat, with all women parliamentarians, current and former women parliamentarians. And it was their effort in establishing a women's caucus. In the Caribbean, a lot of parliaments are doing that. So it's not a novel thing for Belize. And they had invited me to share the experience of Belize. And, you know, we may be a Caribbean sea apart from each other, but honestly, the issues are the same.
Same, yeah.
The women in their respective organizations, political party organizations, are going through the same thing like their counterparts. It's not different along party lines. I also did a research paper for a certificate that I did with the Caribbean Institute for Gender Studies and Development at UWI. And I focused on that. I focused on how do women, the few that do take up the challenge, how do they navigate the corridors of parliament and their own parties? And, you know, I went in thinking, okay, let's see what is going to be different. And there was not a lot of difference, to be honest. Women rarely have been treated differently, unequally, if I can use that term. And the system for so long has worked against us. I mean, I've had experience with that. I keep telling people the first time I can say that my gender lens was cleaned and I was able to start to see things from a gender perspective was when I became more actively involved in the politics of Belize by virtue of the Senate. I never focused on that. I took it for granted. But when you are in the legislature and you see legislation come without looking at the perspective from I'll say minority group or vulnerable group or a group that has been treated less than equal, that ought to shake you. And that was my experience in the Senate. So I continue to encourage more women to run, because if any of us want to see more women in the House of Representatives, the only way that's going to happen is if there are more women on the ballots in order for the chances of more women to be elected.
Yes.
That's the only way it's going to happen. It's not easy, but hey, somebody has to do it.
I love the fact that you pointed out that when legislation comes out, well, is presented to the House, and you know, you barely see the representation for the minority groups and whatever, but then the minute you put in legislation and you try to pass legislation on to equalize things, ruffles more than enough feathers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's democracy for you at work.
Don't we love it?
Yeah.
I know I mentioned that we're going to go talk about, you know, the 16 days of activism. You mentioned, you know, after being in the Senate, you've taken a new role when it comes to being much more involved. And 16 days of activism is here. It's almost up, actually. And there's a lot taking place. What is your role presently when it comes to advocacy and supporting the fight against gender-based violence?
So I don't have a specific role per se. It's really my individual effort, and I support the initiatives around 16 days of activism. I was asked to give the keynote at the launch, and I decided to do that from the perspective of Speaker of the House of Representatives. You know, there's a lot that has been passed in both chambers, in the House and Senate, motions, you know, that denounce gender-based violence, motions that call for improvement or enhancement of legislation, and those have been passed this year. There was also the motion that was passed that allowed for the miscarriage of justice against Nora Parham to be corrected.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So the National Assembly of Belize is doing its part. What's important is for the public to hold those commitments, to keep and to remember those commitments, and then to hold the members of Parliament accountable to those commitments, so that next year's 16 days of activism, it's not wondering what has occurred. One ought to monitor the progress against those commitments. And, you know, Belizeans as a whole, we don't have this culture or history of calling up your area rep, writing your area rep, meeting your area rep, or challenging your area rep. We don't do that.
Yeah.
But I think that would make for an interesting dynamic on some of the commitments and policies that have passed through the legislature. The legislature is an important part of government. It's a separate branch of government. I know sometimes it's hard to see the difference, but it really is a separate branch of government. And the system is set up where if you apply it, it actually can create significant change. But it is not for the area reps alone, it's for our citizens to be engaged.
Yeah.
And part of the challenge is that we have to do more in educating the citizenry about the role of the legislature and how they can be engaged with it and how they can effect change with the system of parliament. It's an important institution. I consider myself privileged to serve in this capacity. It has its challenges. It's fun, don't get me wrong. It keeps you on your toes.
I could
Keeps
imagine.
you mentally fit and alert. And in my case, I make sure that I get my physical fitness in just because
Just to make sure everything's
it
balanced.
just keeps my zen in order. But it is such a critical part of our governance, and I don't think we appreciate it beyond what you see on a House meeting.
Right.
And there's just so much that's going on behind the scenes. The team at the National Assembly, you know, they're not part of public service. It's a separate service. It's a parliamentary service. And they have a different, for the most part, a different set of training. There's no such thing as training to be a parliamentary officer through the public service. So they get their training through these agencies I mentioned, Commonwealth Parliamentary Association and Parliamercs and so forth on the Westminster system, yes, on Parliament, on parliamentary procedures, on what language means, on what some of the terms that you may hear in the House mean, and why do you do it, and the history behind it. So it's a very, I like to consider it a privileged place to work because it's unlike any other in the system of government. And it is a separate part, there's 3 branches of government. This is one of those branches that has a critical role. We don't do enough, I think, to educate on that role. But gender-based violence, you know, nobody is immune to it. No institution, it doesn't discriminate based on party political affiliation, based on occupation, education, religion, sexual orientation. It's there. And in the National Assembly, we've also witnessed where it has come in. So it's important to be involved. If I can just say this, Renata, I heard a comment, and yes, it was by a man, coincidentally, but I heard a comment that, oh, it's that time of year again.
Oh, wow.
Bringing it down to just an activity. And so I made sure in my remarks, I heard the comment before I did the keynote at the launch, that the 16 days is 2 weeks out of the year that has been dedicated to shed light on a very serious issue in Belize. And it's not a woman's problem. It's not a government's problem. It's not an imported problem. It's a Belize problem we're having.
Yeah.
And if you go by the Belize Crime Observatory statistics, it's very worrying what's happening in terms of gender-based violence and the trend. And that's because we know not everybody reports.
And we saw numbers,
Actually,
heard the numbers
Ms. Maria
last
said the numbers
week.
increased this year, and she's wondering if it's not, but people are reporting more, there's more cases, like you don't know. And we know also the numbers had increased from COVID when everybody was locked up. So it's just been going up there, and definitely there needs to be more education, there needs to be more support, and there needs to be less attitude of it's that time of year.
Right.
It's more of every single
It's
day.
365 days a year, and we have to unite against it because it's one of Belize's Belize's worst scourges, you know, and it's not for lack of trying by many organizations. There are many who are addressing this. National Women's Commission, Hope Haven, a whole heap of them.
Yeah.
Win Belize and so forth, for decades have been dealing with trying to raise the awareness. But you know, gender-based violence has always been viewed as something, a private matter. It's
Yeah.
really not.
It's not.
It's
no.
not a private matter. And then we don't consider other factors that may influence it. Language, music, you know, choice of words used in varying contexts have a strong impact. And I think we have to be a little bit more alert to that. So there's a whole, our upbringing, you know, the fact that we for a long time, and I'm sure it continues to this day, we've all been taught that blue is boy, pink is girl. Girls are supposed to go into these types of occupation, and
Yeah.
that, you know, Lord forbid you see a girl trying to move the chair that you sit on. Oh no, the boy have to do it. Why? You know,
You put each other in boxes.
So you're putting us in boxes from a very young age, and then that carries through. So it's not going to be solved overnight.
No.
But we need more champions,
I need to work.
and we need to hold to account our leadership in terms of all of us who have committed and who have pledged, and then we take stock, you know, next year.
What
to
have
see
we
where
done?
what have we done? How
Right.
have we moved the needle just a little bit further? So yeah,
It's a lot of work. But Ms. Val, it was so great
Yes,
talking to
yes,
you. It's
definitely.
the first time you've been on our couch.
I know.
Is it as intimidating now?
You know, not as intimidating. I've watched you, and the first thing I said, first of all, you guys are much younger than I, so let's see if I can keep up with the energy. And some of your questions are very, very deep. And I always question, I wonder how I would have responded if I was on that green couch there. But no, I've been on the green couch. I feel comfortable.
There's no
Great.
fear.
So
I can
there's
see
no
you back
fear.
again too as
Oh,
well, because
I'd love
I think
to.
you really opened a great conversation on what happens administrative wise, and like I think there's
Yes.
more to talk about. Unfortunately, our segment is over, but I really would like to have you come back because I think education is important. Giving people dissemination of information so they can know what's taking place is really key for us to like be a part of processes, hold people accountable, like do more. And it only happens when we start these conversations to let people know, I know more. I can ask more. There is more, you know, and it's available. So I really appreciate you coming on and just like
Sure.
giving just like a heads up on like just a little snippet of
Just
what you
a
do.
snippet.
Because I know there's a lot.
You said that
Yeah.
you have hours to talk about. We'll invite
Yeah.
you back
Well,
for
yeah,
more.
well,
And
Let's
there's
do
the
that.
myth, right? There's the myth that the speaker can do this correct. That the speaker can't do a lot of things, you know.
And that's what I wanted to educate our people out there as well.
Yeah.
Because I got educated too as well. Because I thought there was much more. Like, I don't do a lot like that. I'm like, really? Tell me more. But thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you for having
Can't
me.
wait to have you back.
Thank you so much.
And with that, guys, we go to our next commercial break. But when we are back, Grace Primey graces us with their presence, and we get to hear all that's taking place. We have a performance. We have great galore. Stay tuned. Let's support and let's love what our 501 Excellence is always doing in our country. We'll be right back.
Channel 7's Christmas brand is here. It's all happening from Sunday, December 11th to Thursday, December 15th.
And we want you to come up on all the giveaways. So how do you do that?
Come to our office on Albert Street to buy your 25-cent ticket. You can buy as many as you want for more and more chances at a prize.
That ticket gets your name in the barrel and gives you a chance to win cash prizes, jewelry, electronic appliances, and much, much more.
Then join us in person on Thursday, December 15th for the Brahms Grand Finale at Blue Martini. Your $10 entrance gets you a golden ticket to win even bigger prizes.
So that's 5 nights of non-stop entertainment, non-stop giveaways, and non-stop fun.
I must be dreaming.
Oh no, honey bun, you're not. Everything you hear, so far that's true. Delta Store has a new look. Delta Store is at the same location, right down Albert Street. Delta Store has a wide variety of fabric. Delta Store offers quality and savings. Everything in a Delta Store for only $4.99 or less. Snap out of that dream and head on down to Delta Store today.
Stop, love. Don't paint that wall. I have a better idea. Let us wallpaper it. It is cleaner, easier, and so beautiful and looks very artistic when it is all done. And takes less time to do up a wall than to use that smelly paint. And guess what? It is romantic.
What you mean romantic? What is romantic about putting up a wallpaper, honey? Tell me more.
Well, you see, we will go to Mikado and see the range of wallpaper. Then we will choose the design together. We will come home and start putting up the wallpaper. And we will be together and be beside each other. We can put wallpaper in all the rooms. And who knows? They even have wallpaper for the baby room too.
Well, I like the sound of that, so what are we waiting for? Let's go to Mercado like now.
Come in, honey.
You can also see our selection of wallpaper on our Facebook page. Like us and follow us on Facebook. Mercado, centrally located in the heart of Belize City at number 37 Albert Street.
¿Sabías que Hospital Galenia modificó los protocolos de seguridad y prevención de salud ante la pandemia de COVID-19 para evitar contagios?
Se garantiza que todo paciente que llega a quirófano está libre de COVID y durante su periodo de recuperación no va a tener contacto con un paciente infectado.
Hospital Galenia, más que un hospital.
If you've got a lot more good years ahead of you, if you exercise and eat right, but what if something happened? What if you were the 1 in 3 that will be diagnosed with cancer? If you were the 1 in 4 who would suffer serious heart issues? What if it ruined more than your health? What if it ruined your financial stability as well? Sagicor's critical illness solutions can give you confidence in the face of every what if. Let's help you plan for the what ifs today. Talk to your Sagicor advisor or visit sagicor.com.
Channel 7's Christmas brand is here. It's all happening from Sunday, December 11th to Thursday, December 15th.
And we want you to come up on all the giveaways. So how do you do that?
Come to our office on Albert Street to buy your 25-cent ticket. You can buy as many as you want for more and more chances at a prize.
That ticket gets your name in the barrel and gives you a chance to win cash prizes, jewelry, electronic appliances, and much, much more.
Then, join us in person on Thursday, December 15th for the Brams Grand Finale at Blue Martini. Your $10 entrance gets you a golden ticket to win even bigger prizes.
So that's 5 nights of non-stop entertainment, non-stop giveaways, and non-stop fun.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love came to me, a partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love came to me, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day of Christmas, my true love came to me, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love came to me, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the fifth day of Christmas, my true love came to me, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the sixth day of Christmas, my true love came to me, 6 geese a-laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the seventh day of Christmas, my true love came to me, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a-laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the eighth day of Christmas, my true love came to me, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a-laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the ninth day of Christmas, my true love came to me, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a-laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the ninth day of Christmas, my true love came to me, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a-laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love came to me, 10 lords are leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a-laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love came to me, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords are leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swim, 6 geese a-laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love came to me, 12 drummers drum, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords are leaping, 9 ladies dance, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a-laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Channel 7's Christmas Brand is here. It's all happening from Sunday, December 11th to Thursday, December 15th.
And we want you to come up on all the giveaways. So how do you do that?
Come to our office on Albert Street to buy your 25-cent ticket. You can buy as many as you want for more and more chances at a prize.
That ticket gets your name in the barrel and gives you a chance to win cash prizes, jewelry, electronic appliances, and much, much more.
Then, join us in person on Thursday, December 15th for the Brams Grand Finale at Blue Martini. Your $10 entrance gets you a golden ticket to win even bigger prizes.
So that's 5 nights of non-stop entertainment, non-stop giveaways, and non-stop fun.
I must be dreaming.
Oh no, honey bun, you're not. Everything you hear so far, that's true. Delta Store has a new look. Delta Store is at the same location, right down Albert Street. Delta Store has a wide variety of fabric. Delta Store offers quality and savings. Everything in a Delta Store is only $4.99 or less. Snap out of that dream and head on down to Delta Store today.
Stop, love. Don't paint that wall. I have a better idea. Let us wallpaper it. It is cleaner, easier, and so beautiful and looks very artistic when it is all done. And takes less time to do up a wall than to use that smelly paint. And guess what? It is romantic.
What you mean romantic? What is romantic about putting up a wallpaper, honey? Tell me more.
Well, you see, we will go to Mikado and see the range of wallpaper. Then we will choose the design together. We will come home and start putting up the wallpaper. And we will be together and be beside each other. We can put wallpaper in all the rooms. And who knows? They even have wallpaper for the baby room too.
Well, I like the sound of that. So what are we waiting for? Let's go to Mikado like now.
Come in, honey.
You can also see our selection of wallpaper on our Facebook page. Like us and follow us on Facebook. Mikado, centrally located in the heart of Belize City at number 37 Albert Street.
¿Sabías que Hospital Galenia modificó los protocolos de seguridad y prevención de salud ante la pandemia de COVID-19 para evitar contagios?
Se garantiza que todo paciente que llega a quirófano está libre de COVID y durante su periodo de recuperación no va a tener contacto con un paciente infectado.
Hospital Galenia, más que un hospital.
If you've got a lot more good years ahead of you, if you exercise and eat right, but what if something happened? What if you were the 1 in 3 that will be diagnosed with cancer? If you were the 1 in 4 who would suffer serious heart issues? What if it ruined more than your health? What if it ruined your financial stability as well? Sagicor's critical illness solutions can give you confidence in the face of every what if. Let's help you plan for the what ifs today. Talk to your Sagicor advisor or visit sagicor.com.
Good morning, my beautiful people out there. Welcome back to Sun Upon 7. You were just teased with a nice song there from Grace Primary student who, there will be another performance after this. I know I'll give away what? I don't know. But let's go into it. We're here joined with Miss Sandy Bradshaw, who's the general manager of Grace Primary School, as well as Miss Jackie Jones and Miss Ruby Swayze, who are all here talking about their upcoming event, well, actually today's event, Joy to the World. So good morning to all of you. Welcome to our couch. How are you doing?
Good morning. We are well, thank you.
All right.
I think I speak for the others. I think I speak for the others too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing fine and all excited, getting ready for the show tonight.
We're done with drag up on the TV, right? Ms. Ruby, how are you?
I'm doing good. And yourself?
We're good. Thank you for asking.
Okay, well, we're glad to be here and we are here to tell you about our show. Are you guys ready?
Yes,
We're ready.
I didn't sit down for this one, yeah.
But before we even get into this year's show, I want to go back into what happened last year, because last year we also had a show. It was virtual due to COVID and all kind of things. So I'm figuring this one is in person.
We remember Miss Sunday.
Yes, of course. I
don't forget. So, Miss Sunday, you want to give us like an update of like what was that show about? And also, on that same note, tell us, why do we do these shows in the first place too as well?
Okay. Why do we do these shows? We want to showcase our children. You know, we believe that it's very important with respect to talent. You need to groom, and we start from the little ones. That was where I got started, right? And yes, last year was a unique year. One of our dear teachers here forgot because, of course, she was on maternity leave. Understand? But we don't forget at all because we were just coming out of COVID, right? So we couldn't have that face-to-face kind of thing. And so being the kind of school that Grace Primary is, we were online. We did an online. Now you ask, what is the reason, the purpose, the reason behind the show? Of course, aside from showcasing our teachers and students, we also fundraise. You know, we need the cha-ching, cha-ching to run the school, right?
Cha-ching.
Yeah. So that's one of the purposes too. Right? And last year we introduced you to a major thrust, a 5-year project program for the school known as Innovation 21-26, right? And it involves a building project. When we say building, we're referring to infrastructure.
Right.
But we are also referring to building lives, honing, grooming, and training our students for life.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
So the show is today. Let's get into the details of
I'd
it.
say this evening.
Yeah. Well,
In a matter of hours.
In a matter of hours. So what time does it begin? Where will it be held? Obviously face to face, no, because we hear the lovely marimba in the back there as well.
You with the juice.
It will be at the Bliss Center for Performing Arts, and we commence at 6 o'clock this evening, 6 p.m. sharp.
Sharp.
Sure
No
you're
Belize
there.
time.
No Belize time.
Right. And of course, the theme, as you can detect from our demeanor, is joy to the world.
All right. So buying tickets, what are we looking at in prices and things like that?
Okay. What are we going to charge the adults, Miss Jones or Miss?
Adults, it will be $15. High school students, $10, and primary school children, $5.
Oh, okay.
Toddlers, yeah, free. Little babies.
Okay.
So in terms of the show now, it begins at 6 o'clock. How long a run time are we looking at? And I mean, constant performances.
Yes, and what is the
or-
range of the
Yes,
performances? Because I know GPS people, they're talented bad. Right? A birdie tell me though, but I don't tell you which are the birdie. Miss Ruby.
Well, we're looking at like a 2-hour span,
Okay.
more or less, 2.5. And it will be like with the marimba, the singing, you know, steel pan. You know, we are known for a steel pan.
yes.
We cannot forget that Grace Prime is known for steel pan. And we have recorder,
Okay.
skits, right, Miss Jones? Dances.
Ballet girls. Oh, yes,
Okay.
girl.
Okay.
All right. GPS.
Oh, yes.
Doing it big, huh?
And we don't want to forget our music professor. We are very privileged and honored to have Professor Carlos Perote with us.
Yes.
Right? And he is a musician par excellence. Okay?
Ah.
And he has been giving a lot to the country of Belize
Yes.
for the past, I think it's 20 odd years, right? And we're very blessed to have him at Grace Primary with us.
I know he has a wide range too as well. So that's why I'm like super excited about all these performances. Oh, no, they do everything though. That ain't the one thing we don't touch everything. Poem, ballet, skit, the marimba, every single thing. So so where can they find the tickets exactly again in case they want to order ahead of time, or you can also go to the door?
If they want ticket ahead of time, tickets are on sale at Grace Primary School, Amara Avenue, because, you know, we have 2 campus.
Right.
So they can go to Amara Avenue, pick up their ticket to avoid the crowd at the booth. If not, then they will have to stand in the line at the Bliss Center for Performing Arts to get their ticket.
I love how Miss Jones said the crowd at the booth, because I know you have been crowded.
And we want to make a very important notation here, because we came to the public and we did fundraise at Christmas online. And then you remember in February, we also had a fundraiser at Farbers Road campus. It's
Right.
the corner of Farbers Road and Sing Street, right? And between that and different persons who donated, particularly the Honorable Minister Francis Fonseca from the Ministry of Education, we got $60,000 there, and then we raised most of the rest. We have to thank the Christian Brethren. That's a group that the school is affiliated with, because all those assemblies gave. We have past students who gave. As a matter of fact, this evening, our MC will be a past student. He will be John Hoy.
John Hoy,
from
right.
Ascentium, yes.
Right.
So,
Nice.
yeah. So we're really looking forward to that.
You know, teamwork
And-
to make the dream work.
Yes, and so we were able to put down 3 new buildings at the Farbers Road campus since you last saw us.
Wow.
Right? And then we're hoping for another as we transition and move as the school progresses, because, you know, we're growing, right?
2021, 2021, 26, songs like a reality coming into like,
You speak it into existence, you do the work and let the God do the rest, and it just they unfold. And I'm just like so thankful, you know, for everything that you guys are doing.
Yes.
We also
Bible and business.
Uh-huh. And it's everybody's business.
That's right.
But
I am fortunate to be the one who got one of the new buildings. I
Oh,
am, yes.
there you go.
Christen it.
Actually, I must say pretty up.
Yes, so I got all my new charts. I got everything new in the classroom. So it's a blessing, you know, to
Great.
go into a new brand classroom. So I always tell my students, make sure we take care of the classroom, you know. Don't be dragging the chairs, none of that, because we have a wooden floor, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to
So
take care of these things.
it's a blessing. And like I said, we are thankful for whoever, you know, the Ministry of Education who donated our Christian brethren, you know. We're thankful.
Definitely. And we're excited because, guys, we have our next performance too as well. So we get out of the talking, on to know exactly where we're going, on know when it start, on know the ticket prices, on know how the big news, we get $60,000 and much more. And we got 3 building and more to come. But now we get into...
Bliss need to pack out.
Sorry?
Bliss need to pack
It won't
out. They
pack
need
out,
to
man.
come
You
out.
Yeah, pack up. You don't call the crowd. You don't call the crowd.
Crowd will
You
be
don't
at the
see
booth.
what they,
Exactly.
They want to lean all the way, you know,
Exactly.
from Brody's, they want
The
to
line on the double
from.
wrong. So they need
This
to
is why they need to get the ticket early.
early. Grace Primary School, Amara.
So without any further ado, we thank you so much, ladies, for bringing the joy to the world. And of course, guys, Joy to the World premieres tonight at the Bliss Institute of Performing Arts at 6 p.m. No believe time. Sharp. Properly for me. And Ms. Jackie Dunn said I got long lines, so please go on and take it ahead of time. $15 for adults, $10 for high school students, and $5 for primary school students. And toddlers, you getting free sweetness. We love you know. So without any further ado, we go to our commercial break, and we have a quick, beautiful performance to give an on another tease as to why you need to get your tickets, support, and just come out to enjoy amazing performances.
must be dreaming.
Oh no, honey bun, you're not. Everything you hear so far, that's true. Delta Store has a new look. Delta Store is at the same location, right down Albert Street. Delta Store has a wide variety of fabric. Delta Store offers quality and savings. Everything in a Delta Store at only $4.99 or less. Snap out of that dream and head on down to Delta Store today.
Stop, love. Don't paint that wall. I have a better idea. Let us wallpaper it. It is cleaner, easier, and so beautiful and looks very artistic when it is all done. And takes less time to do up a wall than to use that smelly paint. And guess what? It is romantic.
What you mean romantic? What is romantic about putting up a wallpaper, honey? Tell me more.
Well, you see, we will go to Mikado and see the range of wallpaper. Then we will choose the design together. We will come home and start putting up the wallpaper. And we will be together and be beside each other. We can put wallpaper in all the rooms. And who knows, they even have wallpaper for the baby room too.
Well, I like the sound of that. So what are we waiting for? Let's go to Mikado like now.
Come in, honey.
You can also see our selection of wallpaper on our Facebook page. Like us and follow us on Facebook. Mikado, centrally located in the heart of Belize City at number 37 Albert Street.
¿Sabías que Hospital Galenia modificó los protocolos de seguridad y prevención de salud ante la pandemia de COVID-19 para evitar contagios?
Se garantiza que todo paciente que llega a quirófano está libre de COVID y durante su periodo de recuperación no va a tener contacto con un paciente infectado.
Hospital Galenia, más que un hospital.
If you've got a lot more good years ahead of you, if you exercise and eat right, but what if something happened? What if you were the 1 in 3 that will be diagnosed with cancer? if you were the 1 in 4 who would suffer serious heart issues? What if it ruined more than your health? What if it ruined your financial stability as well? Sagicor's critical illness solutions can give you confidence in the face of every what if. Let's help you plan for the what ifs today. Talk to your Sagicor advisor or visit sagicor.com.
Channel 7's Christmas Bram is here. It's all happening from Sunday, December 11th to Thursday, December 15th.
And we want you to come up on all the giveaways. So how do you do that?
Come to our office on Albert Street to buy your 25-cent ticket. You can buy as many as you want for more and more chances at a prize.
That ticket gets your name in the barrel and gives you a chance to win cash prizes, jewelry, electronic appliances, and much, much more.
Then, join us in person on Thursday, December 15th for the Brams Grand Finale at Blue Martini. Your $10 entrance gets you a golden ticket to win even bigger prizes.
So that's 5 nights of non-stop entertainment, non-stop giveaways, and non-stop fun.
Good morning, my beautiful people. Welcome back to Sun Upon 7. Just before the break, we hope you enjoyed that lovely performance brought from the Grace Primary School students. And they will be having their Joy to the World performance tonight. 6 o'clock, people at the Bliss. So get your tickets. We have giveaways that we'll try to give out at the end of the show. So stay tuned for that. But we are now jumping into our third conversation for this morning, and we just had a recent graduation, right? So let's talk more about it. We're here joined with Ms. Myra Arzu, who's from the special ed unit, as well as Ms. Lisa Canton, a teacher from St. Therese RC School, Borough Boom. Boom, big up on herself. Good morning to both of you ladies. How are you doing?
Good morning.
All right. So, recent graduation, Ms. Myra. Let's hear what this recent graduation was about.
We had 36 educators, including some special education officers, who received their master's degree in inclusive and special education.
Wow! Congrats!
Nice. Reason to celebrate, right?
Yes.
Definitely. And that is the reason why we should be celebrating, is because we don't have a lot of teachers that are, versed in this area in Belize, and hence for a lot of the challenges that we are facing in the classroom. So an addition of 36 to the little handful that we had is definitely a great accomplishment.
Definitely.
Great accomplishment. And it was, especially we have to honor the government of Belize because it was partially sponsored by the Ministry of Education.
Nice. Great.
So, it was all during COVID and all that time. And, I'm finding money to pay for a course, the entire cost would have really put up that dent on us, but we are really grateful for the Ministry of Education for
master's degree at that.
Inclusive
wow.
and special ed.
Inclusive and special ed, Papa.
You were one of the students, Miss Lisa?
Yes, so the cohort consisted of both special education officers, teachers. There were a few administrators as well. Okay. So I was one of the teachers chosen. We were chosen from all over Belize because they wanted equal representation.
Right.
So we had teachers from every single district. And as Myra said, it was fully online because of COVID. Long hours, some of the classes, especially in the beginning, because instead of starting September, we started November, and we had to make up for that entire time that we missed. So the beginning classes were really, really, really long.
I couldn't imagine. So, Miss Lisa, I have to by the way, first tell you your bandeau is gorgeous.
Thank you.
We gotta pinpoint that first. But the second thing is, tell us about the journey that this is gonna take you. This new education, it was a long way to get there. You just mentioned the just 2 months you have to do makeup because you started in November. That in itself is stress. So we know education is stress, but it's important. Where do you see yourself going with this new degree?
Well, so the original plan, so I guess I can mention this. We started this program under the previous administration. So the original plan was for teachers to be chosen from all over the country, and we would we wouldn't be in the classroom, we would be in the fields. And so they would put a group of schools, and you would just visit those schools and assist teachers in any way possible. So at this moment in time, we're just waiting to see what the plan will be under the new administration. I'm sure they have great plans for us. So we're just waiting, patiently praying, and just waiting to see what will happen.
And the relief of just
graduating.
I know.
They haven't disappointed us so far because Myra, I hope I'm not saying what's not true, but if I remember when the government changed, our payments had not been made yet, right? Or just not in full. So thankful that the new administration continued what was started, and they paid for us, because for a moment there we were like, oh, we don't know what will happen. All this money hasn't gone yet. I don't know if they have plans for this, but they did not disappoint us. So we're very grateful for that.
Ms. Myra, I want to direct this question to you. Being a part of the special ed unit itself, could you educate our audience as to what you see lacking, besides the number of special ed teachers out there? What do you see lacking in the whole schooling for special ed students?
All right.
You have to breathe for that one.
Yes,
Take a breath,
because
Ms. Myra.
For me, Brandon, it's the right attitude. I think it's just the right attitude. And sometimes that attitude is triggered by not having the knowledge. A lot of times. So I don't know how to reach a child within the classroom, then, it becomes an issue. But educating and training our teachers, I think, is the key.
Yeah.
So in the speech that I delivered on Saturday, because I delivered a speech,
I love how Miss Lisa's in the background and the cheerleader like, yeah.
She was excited about it.
I did mention that inclusion has to be a collaborative effort.
Yes.
It shouldn't be just a focus in the classroom, and that's one of the main challenges that we are having right now, because we are fighting for inclusion, or inclusive education within the classroom. But when they get out into the society,
that's it. That's where it ends.
That's where it ends.
Yeah.
So we need to train our parents, everybody.
Yes.
Let's begin from the parents, because I maintain that our children, first specialists in every area, are their parents.
Indeed.
So while we're having teachers, having the attitude, not having that really positive attitude towards having the children in the classroom, it's not their fault. It's what society have fed them. You understand? It's a feeling of what they. So it's a mind change of mindset that we need. I look at the child, and I know that child have some capabilities wherever their level is at, but they do have a capability. Not everybody is going to be a doctor. Not everybody is going to be a journalist. Not everybody is going to be a teacher, but everybody can earn, can be independent.
Indeed, indeed.
Yes,
Yes,
Miss
sure,
Lisa,
please.
come on. We make one.
The recent graduate, come on, we need to.
I think it was during our third, I'll call it semester, we did a course, I don't remember the name of it, but it focused on the first 1,000 days of life. And I think that was a course that really brought a lot to our attention, because the most important days of a child's life is from conception to about age 3. And at that time, the students, they're not students yet, they're at home with their parents, they haven't even started preschool. So as Ms. Myra said, the parents do play a very important role. I mean, it starts from conception, the nutrition, the reading to your child, playing music to your child, all of that starts from in the womb. And so as this child is born, there are some, I don't want to use a wrong term, because we learn that terms are very important, right? But they might notice certain behaviors, they might notice certain characteristics that if, we speak about early intervention. So if they notice these things and they bring them to their pediatrician's attention, the child can get help from an early stage. But so they do play a very important role, and that's one thing we learned during that course.
That's why education is so important,
It is. And Renata and Brandon, when the students are in the classroom, sometimes they're sitting right there. You have two types of disability, the overt and the covert, and those that you can see and those that you cannot see. So a lot of times when our children are sitting in the classroom, they may look quite normal to you, but cognitively, they're not functioning at their level. So when sometimes parents are in denial. Miss, we come across a child, this is what we are seeing. No, nothing wrong in my picture. Like, all right, then you step aside. But for us as a special education officer, we have to get consent from the parent to provide support for that child. If the parent does not give us any consent, then sadly, they are kind of left to the mercy of the world. And teachers are, Miss, I don't know what else. So we try to provide a little bit of support for the teacher, but that is as much as we can do. But when parents acknowledges, all right, we don't have much services, but I know that right now we have a group of occupational therapists. As I speak, they're right at Narcy, providing some services. And this is something that the new administration have brought in, a group of, their therapy adventures, that's the name.
Okay.
A group of therapists to work along with our students. That's a start.
And I love the start because I remember in my practice some years ago, I was dealing with an issue that involved special eds. And I learned a lot about the NARCY program through there, but I also learned the lack of teachers and resources that are there. Yes, and so now hearing that we have capable educators going out there, and you said from all over Belize.
Yes.
So we have ranging from Corozal to Toledo now.
Yes.
Amazing. Amazing work there. And thank you so much for being a part of that too. Because now I see that our students are getting what they deserve.
We are on our way.
We're getting there.
We started,
it takes
we are getting
steps.
there.
Yes.
It's going to take some babies. We are at the baby steps, but
we're going to start run soon.
Right.
Let's need one with a crowd, with a get there. We just let all
And-
crowd first, but we'll get there.
And now the information is out there because NERS, the special ed unit, now have an inclusive corner on the Ministry of Education website. So you can go there, you could get strategies that could help.
That was my
You have
next question.
information that you could, you look, there's so, if you're a parent, anybody, you go on the Ministry of Education website, find the inclusive corner, and there's a whole wealth of information there.
And this information is supposed to, because I really like what Ms. Lisa and you were both talking about, education and the first 1,000 days. I think that's key for parents out there, people that are going to be first-time mothers and fathers out there. Yeah, it's a scary process, and you don't know what to do. And when you don't have the education, you make poor decisions. So tell us a little bit. So we go on the Inclusion Corner on the Ministry of Education page, and there's all the information, strategies, and so forth. Is there any step, if you get this information, just for say, and you still don't understand properly how to go, what's your next step?
All right, if you don't understand the information that is there, you contact your nearest out district, the DEC. You have 2 education special ed officers that are stationed at the DEC.
Okay.
Belize City is a little bit different. We have 5 of us here at the NARCY office stationed there. So the numbers will be there. You come to our office. They can also be referred, the child can be referred through the school. A teacher might see certain characteristics, inform the principal contact NARCY, or the teacher herself can make a contact. Miss, I see certain characteristics. Can you come in and help us with this situation?
So there are ways, there are steps that we can do.
Yes.
And guys, as you just heard, there's so many, about 30 you said? 36 educators out there, officers that are trained, that have a master's degree.
So I must add too, there is the T4T, Teachers for Teachers platform also there.
Okay.
So where teachers will post questions, and you have another teacher who had a probably use a strategy, and they post, they could respond. So teachers helping teachers, also a platform that is out there. So
there's stuff out there.
There's stuff out there. It's just to reach for it.
And that's why it's good to have these conversations, because I want people to know there is an inclusion corner. There are, people that are respective in your district. You don't have to go all the way to Belize City, because that's the stress that people have, If you're in a Corozal, you're like, oh, I said Belize City have everything, but no, it's the whole point of this is having other educators, officers, countrywide to be trained to have that master so that they can know and they can help. So you don't have to go too far. And so please access the resources, call, ask as many questions as you want. There's never a dumb question, guys. Honestly, if you don't know, you don't know. Please, please access resources. That's the only way we can grow and give our children the best chance at their livelihoods, their education. So as we're wrapping up, Ms. Maris Lisa, my graduates. I always get hyped with that, you know. I love it for you guys. Is there any final words that you want to give to, whether it be, you know, children, the teachers, the parents out there, when it comes to this new journey that you've taken, and what would be your advice? You already gave some great one about, you know, 1,000 days, the first 1,000. What else you learning you want to tell me? Because a lot, I know.
Yeah, well, I think that as a teacher, it's very difficult for us because when intervention doesn't happen early, like I have taught in the upper division for, I would say, this is like maybe like 20 years.
Wow.
So when you get the kids in the upper division and they're still not reading, that's because intervention was not administered early.
Right.
And it's so difficult for the teacher, and it's also difficult for that child because that child feels embarrassed. So even if you want to do something separately with that child, you know, differentiated instruction, it's difficult because they don't want to. Because how would you feel to be among your peers? I mean, they're like 12, 13, some of them are looking out already, you know, and the other kids are watching them,
Right.
you know, struggling. And it's a struggle I go through every single day because I'll be honest, sometimes I'm very hard on the children, and then I stop and then I think, how is this child feeling that, you know, I'm seeing the other children able to do this work and I can't do this work. So I think that we need changes in the school.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, I think principals are hesitant to do certain things unless they're directed from the Ministry of Education. So maybe the Ministry of Education can put something in black and white, giving principals certain freedoms to make certain choices. Because if we have differentiated instructions in our classroom, I mean, the reality is we all have outcomes from the curriculum that we need to, you know, we need them to be accomplished.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, the children might not be able to reach that outcome. The children might be able to get to a different level. So, you know, if you get the child from step 1, they can't get to step 20.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get them at least to step 3, and that should be okay. But then when they are, even if we're saying differentiated instructions, but they still have to reach the same goal, it doesn't work. And it frustrates us and it frustrates the child. So that's something that I think they need to really look into and see how they can actually put it in black and white.
Right.
So parent, teacher, administrator, everybody can understand, you know, this is what we're working with. Because the ideal thing would be to have IEPs for everybody. But as Ms. Mara said, it's just baby steps. I mean, we just graduated. You know, even with COVID, we didn't have the opportunity to go into the classroom as we would have liked to.
Yeah.
So we still need a lot of practical experience as well. So that's something that, as I said, we're just waiting to see what will happen. But I think that's something that we really need. If we're going to be used in that aspect, that's something that we do need a lot of practical experience in the system so that we can be more beneficial to our students and our country.
And I mean, now we have the educators to successfully lobby with our government for things like this. Right.
So, Ms. Byra, any final words that you want to give to the people out there?
Okay, I think I want to echo what Miss is a change in the system. I'm just, you know, that is my thing. Especially in the handbook of policy, the teacher's handbook of policy, there is only one little line that speaks to children with disability in it.
Oh, wow.
And so it is not detailed. And so a lot of time we find teachers are kind of hesitant. Oh, well, I don't have to do this because then, you know, what will be... Yeah, exactly. So my thing is, let's sit together.
Yes.
Let's make this handbook of policy as something that we can work with. If we are serious about working along with our clients and our children with disabilities, let's get to the table.
Yes.
I mean, we have reports that we did. You know, the cohort, we had to do reports, we had to do interviews. Those are things that the ministry can use as they make decisions. We have all our research papers. Those are things that the ministry can use. Let the data drive the plan. You know, the plan has to be data-driven. We have the data to support whatever we're saying.
Great.
So they can utilize those and make a change from there.
Love it. So they're going to see changes. I mean, slow and steady wins the races. Us speaking up, changing the system, talking about X, Y, and Z. And it can't happen overnight. But, you know, getting little strides, little steps towards it is the biggest thing because we have to get there. But, I know, I really want to encourage parents out there, teachers, you know, students, encourage your parents so as well to access the resources available, have those conversations, and get the education that you need to make better choices for your future, for your children's future, and to come. Disability is not a crime. It's not something that makes you can't live a normal life. You can be able to function. You have value and you can be able to give to this world that has given you so much to as well. So let's see how that happens. But we'll end this conversation, unfortunately. We have more juice for talk about, but for next time, we'll end this conversation for right now, guys, and we'll go to our next commercial break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Channel 7's Christmas brand is here. It's all happening from Sunday, December 11th to Thursday, December 15th.
And we want you to come up on all the giveaways. So how do you do that?
Come to our office on Albert Street to buy your 25-cent ticket. You can buy as many as you want for more and more chances at a prize.
That ticket gets your name in the barrel and gives you a chance to win cash prizes, jewelry, electronic appliances, and much, much more.
Then, join us in person on Thursday, December 15th for the Brams Grand Finale at Blue Martini. Your $10 entrance gets you a golden ticket to win even bigger prizes.
So that's 5 nights of non-stop entertainment, non-stop giveaways, and non-stop fun.
Channel 7's Christmas brand is here. It's all happening from Sunday, December 11th to Thursday, December 15th.
And we want you to come up on all the giveaways. So how do you do that?
Come to our office on Albert Street to buy your 25-cent ticket. You can buy as many as you want for more and more chances at a prize.
That ticket gets your name in the barrel and gives you a chance to win cash prizes, jewelry, electronic appliances, and much, much more.
Then, join us in person on Thursday, December 15th for the Brams Grand Finale at Blue Martini. Your $10 entrance gets you a golden ticket to win even bigger prizes.
So that's 5 nights of non-stop entertainment, non-stop giveaways, and non-stop fun.
Good morning and welcome back to Sun Up on 7, my beautiful people. So, you know, we had performances today and everything like that, but we jump into our final conversation for today, and we're joined with the one, the only Alan, the real McCoy, saxophonist. So, I mean, without further ado, let's jump in. Morning, Alan. How are you this morning?
Morning, Brandon. I'm doing okay. And yourself?
Good. We're doing great. We have you on set today with your saxophone and everything like that. So let's discuss. When did you start saxophone?
I started saxophone from 2013 with the help of Mr. Chris Bradshaw.
Okay.
With the help of Chris Bradshaw at Western College Music Class, because at the time, when I was enrolling in Gwen Lizaraga High School, there was no music class at the time. There were no brass and horn instruments at that time when I was enrolling. So until, and I said that I wanted to learn to play the saxophone very, very badly until I got the chance to do it. I did it I started off in practicing mode for 2013. And then in 2015, I went on to join Gwen Lizaraga High School Marching Band from January until May 2015. It was going great. And now, from November 7th of 2015, I began to perform on my own. So I'm just my own thing.
All right.
We see you to perform all about indeed, because you get booked for birthdays, for weddings, for all of that.
That's right. Excuse me there, please, Renata. If they need me for future booking, this is my contact number there.
So you want to set a number? 629-5192. So if
629-5192 is my contact number. If anybody wants to reach me for future bookings, and I wanted to let you know that I only have like one Saturday available left for the month of December, which is this Saturday, December the 10th. And I have all Saturdays available in the month of January and to April 2023 if you need me for your future performances.
So get your future performances. But we're going to give you a tease too as well, guys. We're wrapping up and leaving him to just bless your ears so your tunes will go just the right way it's supposed to go with this Sun Up energy. So without any further ado, I will bid you guys a farewell and say, remember to drink your water and mind your own business out there.
And I mean, go be great, Elise.
So,
go be great too, Alan. Take it away.
Thank you.
Take it away.
A place to call your home. By me concerns we share today. You will discover how the world turns each day. When the sun comes up